What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, next big catalyst, and some key points to watch for. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So ETC's up 0.79%, so nothing really happening all that much today. 9.69 million in volume over the last 24 hours. So even that is diminishing like tenfold. So again, something to kind of keep in mind, but there's some upcoming catalysts I'll go over in a second. But right now, crypto fear and greed index is under the extreme greed category. So people are just throwing their money at any and all cryptos. So people's appetite for risk is definitely increasing. And this is why you are seeing ETC lag a little bit. And there was a good article that kind of summarizes ETC, and it's ultimately just a lot of manipulation. So they do see more of a downtrend in altcoins and whatever else, but it says that these coins are an easy target of market manipulation. And that's one thing I actually got into ETC because of it being a very substantial squeeze play. Shorts have always played a very big part in ETC's kind of movement. And in reality, you need a lot of capital to get in to prompt a squeeze to really move it higher. So it's this article hits home, very, very true for ETC. And regrettably, that's one reason why it is now lagging. So it is ranked number 32 now based on just the market cap. A lot of the similar coins around it are kind of moving up a lot more than ETC, so not the best in reality, and possibly even later today it might move to position number 33. So things aren't necessarily the greatest, and I think that's just due to the lack of utility associated to just the ecosystem not being all that great, but that's just my viewpoint, of course. But when it comes down to this, these are all the liquidations from longs and shorts. And just generally looking at this, there's a couple big outliers right here, but for the most part, it's longs. Longs are the reason why ETC is not really moving higher. Every time it starts to gain some traction, you are seeing a overwhelming amount of longs just closing out their positions. Versus shorts, they haven't been doing anything. So even yesterday, 59,000 in shorts just liquidating. That is it. That's nothing. Day prior, 163. Day prior to that, on the 14th, 112,000. So ultimately, just shorts are dictating and keeping ETC down. Although there is still some hope. There's a couple of things coming out on a macro standpoint that could really stand to benefit ETC and just crypto, and that is going to be Feds. So Fed's making an interest rate decision tomorrow, and most likely it's going to be a 25 basis point cut. Why does that matter? Ultimately, it will increase consumers' buying power, and appetite for risk will in turn, at least should, go higher. So once again, that could really dramatically change the dynamic of how ETC is on a technical stance. And even afterwards, when Powell speaks, if they hint at potentially more cuts as well coming, then yes, you will see a very nice bump up in just the price appreciating. So even aside from that, you also have GDP, which is a big indicator, as well as PCE. So a lot of big reasons for ETC to really move higher, of course linked to just macro events, but still nonetheless I think that could stand to benefit. Right now with it at 33 and change though, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R1 and the pivot. So 32.95 is going to be a key one to really watch for. If not, it could potentially trace back to this 29.45 range, and that's kind of roughly the time period when I did my last video, which at the time all the data points were signaling more of a further downtrend, but still just watch for a lot of these support points to hold. Flip side, 36.44 is going to be that key pivot for it to really break higher. Of course, right now it's not really gravitating towards that. If anything, it's actually sitting on this pivot point right now, but it's I think it's just people are waiting for that next cut. So with tomorrow in short vision, I guess if you want to call it that way, this might be a good time to potentially buy the dip, or it might kind of escalate things going down. So that's kind of the fun game of ETC ultimately. But if you do believe in it bigger picture, then obviously you can take advantage of these prices. I think just given everything right now, and all the hype, FOMO, alt season, and whatever you want to call it, that's been occurring with crypto. I think a lot of people are looking at the actual true utility of each and every coin, and I think that's kind of the downfall of ETC a little bit right now. So hopefully they are kind of working on that. I know I've kind of tuned into a couple of their space calls on Twitter, and they are improving, but like I said, I think that's one thing that it definitely does need to improve in order for it to have substantial gains. But like I said, 36.44 and then 38.60 are going to be the following targets / resistance points for ETC. Aside from all of that fun stuff though, looking on the actual chart, I have the 1 day up, the ALMA, 50, 100 day moving average, as well as super trend. So right now it does show some signs of more consolidation. So it is below the ALMA. One key point to really watch for is that $28.12. So that is that super trend. If it does kind of break below that, then this is where overall it will turn fairly negative, and most likely shorts will kind of increase their presence, which isn't always a good thing. But generally, I think right now it's not looking all that great. Moving over to the 4 hour, I like to look at all, of course, different viewpoints. So the 4 hour, 1 hour, it all feeds into one another. So looking at the 4 hour, this is where you are seeing some consolidation. Right now, it is flirting with that 50-day moving average right now. So it is kind of showing that it does want to kind of move higher, but I think just generally it needs that catalyst. And the bigger coins up top here, so market cap like anywhere ranging from 1 to like 5, they're improving. They're getting a lot of attention, a lot of eyes on it, but the altcoins such as ETC, those ones are kind of not doing all that great. So it is what it is. I think anyone getting into ETC definitely does have to practice patience, because I've been holding for quite some time. I have an average of 44, could have averaged down many a times, but I didn't, because I got in initially because I felt that it was a good squeeze play, and I do see a lot more potential with it. And so I'm comfortable with my average. I'm just going to continue to hold, and eventually it will hit that target once ETC is more established, of course, on a larger scope. And I do typically bring up as well a number of merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment. It is still increasing, so again, that's kind of a good thing. But as of right now, technicals aren't looking all that great. So just take note of some of these strong support and resistance points. And then, of course, with that 25 basis point cut, you could get a inflow of capital into just crypto. So let me know your thoughts on ETC. Where do you see things going? Do you think it's going to pull back? Do you think it's going to move higher? What's your overall thoughts on that? And what do you think is going to be, aside from macro events, is there anything specific to ETC that is a very good catalyst? So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.